Hello and welcome. This is Shivers, and today we'll be reading a real-life commuting story. I want to thank the ghostwriter so much for allowing me to read this to you guys. And we're going to begin very shortly, but before that, if you guys have any stories that you want to submit to me, I would be more than happy to read them for you. So, let's begin. So, I recently started a new job at my university. One that has me doing a lot more than my last job and pays a little less. Aside from that, I end up leaving the university late and have to take 2 buses home with lots of waiting. I left the office 4 minutes to 5 and bolted down the stairs to catch the bus. The air smelled fresh and the sky had patches of rain clouds producing a light drizzle against a blue backdrop. I catch my first bus and waited to go downtown, playing on my phone and stretching out the remaining battery life on my iPod. My ride from school to the downtown bus plaza is probably the nicest part of the journey. The bus doesn't smell of booze or weed. There aren't any annoying people yelling or talking your ear off. No one gives a damn what you're doing or wants to talk to you. It's great. I missed one of the buses I could take. It would have gotten me home faster, and the walk would be so long. So I ended up waiting for bus number 44. The ride from downtown to where I get off is a 30-minute ride with a 5-minute wait while the bus changes routes. It's not bad, but I'm tired as hell and I'm stuck with it. The next bus doesn't come for a few more minutes, so I decide to take a seat on a vacant bench. In my field of vision, I can see a woman pacing only a few feet from the bench. I'm guessing she's about 5'4". Her hair looks as if she hasn't combed it in a while, and her clothes are, well, interesting. She's wearing a pair of gray sweats and a large baggy t-shirt that would be unnecessary for a woman of her frame. Instead of shoes, she is wearing large pink faded slippers, and on her back, she carries a child's backpack depicting some sort of cartoon character from the 90s. As the bus approaches, I get in line. While waiting for my turn, I watch the woman in front of me remove the bag from her shoulder and rummage through it. A pungent, sour odor reaches my nose. I watch her pull out a wallet and take a few dollars in change for the fare. The driver, looking at her awkwardly, watches as she tries to get the mechanism to take the money, but it does not give. Only moments later, the money slides in and she's walking towards the seats. While I scan the seats, I follow behind and see that the standing room is limited, and that a seat remains only next to the strange-looking woman. "Can I sit here?" I ask politely. The woman clears her throat loudly, and it sounds like a garbage disposal. "Go ahead," she says, and I take the seat beside her. I put my dead iPod in my bag, and I pull out a graphic novel to start reading. As the bus lurches forward, "You look like my son," the woman says, close to my ear. I can smell her breath. It smells like she hadn't brushed her teeth in a while and had a sickly odor to it. "That is, kind of you," I say, trying to ignore and be kind. I continue reading while she starts to rummage in one of her bag's pockets. "He was a bastard, you know," the woman murmured. "Just like his father," she said. "Just like his father." She started to mutter. I tried to ignore and keep from breathing out of my nose. "Tell me something, young man," the woman says, looking directly at me, her messy dark hair draping over her large shirt. Her eyes are wide and her expression is serious. I ignored her, grabbing my phone from my bag, pretending to be occupied. "Tell me something, young man. Are you a bastard?" she asked me, scooting a little too close. "No," I say in a neutral tone, not trying to provoke any more conversation. I look at the bar on my phone and see that it's 40% capacity. I tuck my phone into my jean pocket and look around. The bus had made a few stops, but in dropping people off had gained a few more. "You look like my husband," the woman said, pulling at my shirt and sniffing it. "You smell better than him, too," she added. I sat there feeling nervous and trying not to let it show. We were only a few stops away from the park, and hopefully she would be getting off there. You know, my husband was a bastard too, the woman said in a ponderous tone. I focused my attention on what bit of road I could see in front of me. My son is dead, the woman said bluntly. I'm sorry to hear about that, I say, feeling a little sympathy for this crazy woman calling me a bastard. Focusing my attention back on the stretch of road, I felt something going back and forth on my hand in a petting motion. I looked to see this woman with thin fingers petting the back of my hand. Without a word, I moved my hand and laced my fingers together on top of my bag. My husband died too, the woman said in my ear. I looked at the woman. She was rocking back and forth in her seat. I'm sorry to hear about your loss, I said quietly, and then I heard it, the chime of the bus pulling in and changing numbers. I watched everyone get up and leave the bus towards their vehicles, and I made a mad dash for a vacant seat. 5 minutes went by, and no one else boarded. The bus started up again, and I was getting close to home. Not even a minute into the ride, the woman comes and sits beside me. Most of the bus is vacant, and she chooses to move next to me. If you don't mind, I would like to sit alone, I say. The woman stares at me with these perplexed eyes. I let you sit beside me, she says and plops down next to me, taking the aisle seat. My husband is dead, she spat, giving me an angry glare. I turned my attention away from the woman and took my phone out of my pocket and started browsing the web. I killed the bastard, the woman said after a moment of quiet, her words heavy to the air. I could feel my muscles tensing up. Sorry? I say in disbelief. My husband. I killed him, the woman repeated. He was a bastard, she added. I looked out the window. I was a little ways from home, but not that far. If I got off here, I would need to map my way home, so I decided to wait. I killed my son, she said, pointing into the bag. I jolted out of my seat and pulled the cord, shoving my way past this ugly woman, and got off the bus into the fresh air. The sky was dark, and I was glad to be away from that freak. I started walking down an unpaved street filled with potholes. Turning onto a busy highway, I walked half a block and saw something moving in the corner of my eye. It was the woman. Picking up pace, I started walking faster and faster, not daring to look behind me. After quickly dashing along a busy road, I resumed my normal pace. The woman wasn't in sight, thankfully. I made the rest of my walk home without an incident and locked the door behind me and went about my studies. When I went to leave my house the next morning, sitting on my doorstep was an open backpack with a 90s cartoon character printed on it. Staring back at me was a child's baby doll, covered in red and mannequin pieces such as arms and feet. She said she killed her husband and child, but I feel they weren't real to begin with. But where did all this red come from? Hello there, are you still here? If you are, I hope you enjoyed listening to that as much as I enjoyed making it. And I thank you guys so much for listening and leaving the nice comments. I will continue making more content weekly, maybe 3 or 4 videos. So, if you enjoyed that, please like, comment, and maybe subscribe. I'll see you next time, and take care.